Well, here for the love of yoga. And today we are going to work for the love of Ardha Chandrasana. And I do love Ardha Chandrasana. It is a hip opener and a balance pose. And for me, it's even fun when I wobble and fall, which there's a chance that I might be while teaching you. So that's a-okay. But let's just go over some of the points of it, shall we? So I'm going to work with and without blocks today. It's a very sweet feeling when you have the blocks. I have foam blocks. I like them just so I can toss them around and use them as easily as possible. But yogi's choice on what you want to use for your props in any pose. And sometimes you have to make up your own props, like using books instead of blocks, which I've had to do in the past, as well as just like small boxes and game boxes and things like that. So, you never know. Anywho, so Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, is, like I said, a hip opener, and you usually start in your warrior two stance. So sending out my warrior two feet on one track. And I warmed up, but if you need to warm up, move it around a little bit. Don't just start jumping into poses. Get your warm up in, get the wheels greased. Anywho, so my core is zipped. It's always trying to be zipped and always remember, so sometimes I have to say it multiple times in a practice to myself. But core is zipped, head is high in the clouds, and deep bend in my right knee. From here, I'm going to want to place my hand on the mat or a block about a foot's distance, or even a block's distance away from my pinky toe, aiming towards the top corner of my mat. So as I do that, I'm leaning forward. And when I do, since I started low, I automatically just start to try to bounce into the pose. For slow motion, some people will heel toe their way in, place the hand, and then start to get into the pose. From here, I want to stay grounded in my right foot. Right now I'm kind of testing my balance, seeing where my lean is and where everything feels like it's standing properly. Sometimes I adjust the block. Sometimes it's fine just where it is. And then my left foot is floating up. Thinking about my muscles in my left leg. I'm lifting with the whole leg. I'm not just kind of like wobbling it around. That leg is up with purpose. So my hips are open. My leg is up. My foot is flexed. I'm shooting through the heel of my foot, like as if I have some kind of jet or something that I want to press into behind me. And then the foot is aiming away from the crown of my head, which is aiming away from the crown of my foot, giving me a little bit of lightness. When I'm thinking about something else, I'm not thinking about balancing. My left hand is to the sky. Right hand is to the mat or the block. Again, I've got a line of energy coming from the mat or the floor, the ground, the earth, through my right fingertips, shooting through my shoulders and out my left fingertips. To come out of it, I want a nice deep bend in my right knee as I float my left leg and left foot back down to my warrior two. Counterpose that with, so warrior two, counterpose that with a reverse triangle. It's just feeling good. Sometimes I find the best part of a pose is its counterpose. So we're going to try it on the left side. On my left, I'm going to use the block again. You may also find that one side is stronger than the other, or one side feels more stable than the other. I think it's just the fun of being a person. Sometimes you've got one stronger than the other. Happens. Anywho, left knee is bent, aiming towards that 90 degrees. And I'm aiming towards keeping this hip open. Maybe in this case, I have my hand up to the sky. Instead, I'm going to rotate it so that my palm faces behind me and bring it behind my back for a half bind. That automatically opens my shoulder, so that way when I'm trying to get down for my Ardha Chandrasana, some of that's already started forming. So just fun stuff to think about. I'm going to go a little bit slow into this one. I'm not going to try to bounce into it. So I'm going to do that heel toe thing where I edge my right foot more towards my left. Staying on that same line, however, and then placing the block, again, about a foot's distance away from my pinky toe. Opening up the space to lift my right foot to the sky using the whole leg. Upon feeling that balance, again, testing the balance on my left foot, seeing where everything, oops, and wobbling, seeing where everything is, making sure that I'm not trying to put too much weight onto my left fingertips or my left hand. And then when I'm ready, I can bring my right hand to the sky for my half moon. Other fun things to do when you're playing with half moon, I'll see if I can do it. This side is a little bit more wobbly than the other side, but again, that's part of the fun and part of the challenge. Zip up the core and then bring your hands to prayer, floating, Ardha Chandrasana. Yeah. I've been trying to do this all day and it keeps wobbling. I'm going to bring it back down to my warrior, curling the legs. And then, oh yeah, reverse triangle. Just meet it up in the middle and bring it back to the right side just for a little bit of playtime on the right, just to show you sans block. So, no net. Back. Deep bend in the right knee. And leaning forward. Right hand is about a foot's distance from my right pinky toe. And I like to tent my fingertips. So I like to ensure that I'm not putting weight onto my palms, because sometimes if I do that, then it doesn't help. It actually makes it a little bit harder. So, tenting my fingertips, maybe my left hand can draw the energy up as I try to float. Or maybe I go back to tenting the fingertips. Deep bend in the left knee as my left hand reaches my left ankle, and a little bind from my Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Hand holds on to the ankle nice and tight while the ankle presses into the hand, and that gives you a little bit of resistance in your pose. So it's nice and sweet, and I think it feels really good on the legs. Everybody feels different, so try it and see what you think. And in this case, the way I'm going to get out of the pose, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, placing both hands down at the mat and just squaring my hips down. So now you see my toes point down, hips are square, into kind of like a supported warrior 3, and then just placing the left foot next to the right. Half lift. Forward fold Uttanasana. And to counter into that, I really like a nice chair pose. Hands are reaching up to the sky as my sit bones are reaching down into the mat. And then coming into Tadasana. So, That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you came to play, and I hope you enjoyed too. If you have any questions, please comment below, or you can go onto my website and contact me, fortheloveyoga.com. As always, the light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.